So once we start to get a handle on all the things that Lewis is showing us in his amazing solo, then we can start to make bebop lines kind of like this one. Lewis Smith might be one of the most unsung bebop masters of all time. In this lesson, we're going to cover his amazing solo over rhythm changes and talk about some brilliant ideas that he shows us that are used by all the bebop masters. Alright, let's get into it. So first off, I want to show you this amazing line from his solo. So this line can be broken up into two main concepts. The first one I want to start with, which is harmonic simplification. All that means is that when there's a lot of chords, you can find ways to play key-centered lines over them instead of outlining every specific change. For example, the first 4 bars of rhythm changes have all these chords going by. So in a solo, Lewis will often play really well-constructed lines that just outline the key center of B flat rather than playing all these changes. Here's an example. He's doing this by stringing a couple of easy concepts together. Now when we combine all these concepts together, we can start to make really great sounding diatonic bebop lines. The first idea is the concept that many people call the Coltrane pattern, which is simply just a 4-note pattern consisting of 1, 2, 3, and 5. So if we were in the key of B flat, we started on B flat, and we use this pattern, we would have, of course, you can continue this pattern off of every note in the key of B flat. So any of these 4-note shapes will work over any chord in the key of B flat. So knowing that, we can link these shapes together over any progression in B flat, or just simply over the chord B flat. If you guys are liking this lesson, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And also, if you would like the PDF for the transcription that we're covering in this lesson, make sure to go subscribe over to my Patreon, which you can find it there. And you can also find all the guitar profiles and PDFs for all the examples that we cover in this lesson. Lewis also throws in another idea for diatonic bebop playing, which sounds like this. This is just using chromaticism to link chord tones together, in this case B flat, since we're in the key of B flat. This line connects the 3rd, being our D, with the 5th, being F. But we could also do this off of other chord tones or common tones to play over B flat, like this. So the last diatonic bebop element that Lewis throws in to make it sound so great is this. Much like before, this is just using ornamentation now to embellish the chord tones of B flat. In this case, we're starting on A, which is the major 7 of B flat. And then we're going up a chord tone. In this case, we're going to B flat. Then down a chord tone, down to the 5th. So in this case, we're connecting the A to the F. You can repeat this pattern off each chord tone for B flat, which sounds like this. Now, when we combine all these concepts together, we can start to make really great sounding diatonic bebop lines that sound like this. Or like this. So being able to play great diatonic lines is part of the bebop puzzle. The next part is being able to control and play the sound of 5/1. All right, so let's go back to the line that we opened our lesson with just for a second. Do you notice that the second half of this line has more tension in it than the first half. This is because Lewis is a master of the idea of playing the sound of 5-1. This is simply the ability to create tension and release in our lines, kind of like something like this. Tension, release. This can be done in a bunch of different ways, but today we're going to focus on one specific way called using line closers. These are small melodic lines that usually are used to end our phrases or close our phrases and start on either chord tones of our 5 chord or altered chord tones of the 5 chord and resolve to our 1 chord. So for example, check out this line. So this is played over F7 going to B flat, F7 being the 5 of our key and B flat being the 1 of our key. Notice that this line starts on the 3rd, which is a chord tone of our F7, and then walks down to the 3rd of our 1 chord, the B flat. So you can use these lines and tag them on the end of our diatonic bebop lines, kind of like this, or this. So Lewis shows us another line closer, but this time, instead of starting on the natural 9, it starts on the sharp 9. Also, notice how this 2-5 line is constructed. Lewis simply walks down the arpeggio of our 2 chord, being C minor, and then uses our line closer to close the line. Easy. Here's another great line closer that you can use that starts on the sharp 5 scale degree. Here are a couple lines that either use the arpeggios with line closers or our diatonic bebop lines with line closers. All right, so the last thing I want to show you in this lesson is the idea of harmonic substitution. Let's look at Lewis's first line again. What I want you to notice is that weird A major triad that he plays over the F7 chord. What Lewis is doing here is he's not really playing an F7 chord, he's implying a C sharp diminished chord. And the reason that he's doing this is because it's a part of another progression that he's playing, which is 1, 2, sharp 2 diminished 3. This is a common chord progression to add over static harmony, such as the first couple bars of rhythm changes. Remember that Lewis is just thinking B flat major like we talked about earlier. So when you substitute these chords, what that means is that you could simply substitute them over any diatonic B flat progression. So if you just had B flat, you could just play it over B flat, or if you had, you could also play this same chord substitution over all of that. So you can see the value in learning all this. If we learn how to play diatonic bebop lines that are key-centered, we can play them over pretty much any diatonic progression. Like in most songbook tunes, it's just a lot of 2/5s. So you don't have to outline those 2/5s. You could just play well-constructed diatonic bebop lines. And then our line closers can be used to close any line, including our diatonic bebop lines. And then lastly, thrown in those chord substitutions is another way to add some interest to our lines. I want to close this lesson by demonstrating all the concepts that we talked about in something that's not a rhythm changes. So I'm going to play over the first A section of the great standard, Have You Met Miss Jones, and try to apply all the concepts we learned in this lesson. If you'd like the guitar profile and the PDF file for not only this etude, but all the examples that we went over in this lesson, then make sure to subscribe to my Patreon, which you can find linked in the video description below. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this video about Lewis Smith's bebop concepts. If you guys would like more Lewis Smith concepts from this solo, and trust me, there's a bunch, then make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you guys like what I'm doing, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. And also make sure to go subscribe over on Patreon, which you can find a lot of extra things, including a breakdown of the etude that I do at each of the end of my videos. So that's a nice bonus that you get. That's something that's not available on YouTube. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always keep swinging.